Hi guys, quick video. This hopefully will be under sort of like 5 minutes. It's basically just on, I would say range anxiety is what people call it. You know, I have a lot of people that say, oh, you got an electric car, you got a Tesla. How is it for range? What's it like doing long journeys? You know, do you get worried, like, you know, the battery's just going to run out, blah, 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 blah. So one of the reasons why I picked the Tesla, or I got a Tesla, is because of the charger network and how the sat nav system works in conjunction with that charger network, which I feel works really, really, really well. And if you don't really look into it beforehand, which I didn't look into it too much, to be honest, you don't use the full capability of the car. So, you know, I was going on trips and long journeys and I didn't really know how to use all the settings, if I'm absolutely honest. I thought, oh, it can't be that complicated, and I just sort of like cracked on. But if you know where to look and you know how to set up the nav and everything properly, it's such a good feature to use. What I'll do is I'll edit some video in showing you like what I'm talking about, but on the screen itself. So on your navigation system, if you're navigating somewhere, one of the sort of good things that you can do is you can either nav straight to a charger like you would in a normal car to a petrol station, for example, or what you can do is, so let's say that I was going to drive from Kent to Manchester. The car already knows what charge I have. So let's say I'm going to make that journey with 90% battery. It knows I've got 90% battery. If I'm not going to make it, I mean, I've got the long range, so I would actually make it all the way there without having to charge. But let's say I wasn't going to make it. The car will pick suitable charging points, and it will also change those suitable charging points based on your current, not only your current charge, because that can change. So like the car will say, oh, you're going to arrive in Manchester with like 10% battery. That could change as I'm driving there. I might drive a little bit faster, I might have the aircon on, so it's going to fluctuate and change. So what it does is it's constantly thinking about what charge you have and what charge you're going to have when you get there. So as you're going along on your journey, which you don't even have to look at on the nav, it already would have picked you somewhere to stop along the charger, the Tesla sort of supercharger network, where you can stop and obviously charge up your battery. It knows, so let's say there's 10 chargers at that location, it will know how many chargers are actually being used. It also knows all the other cars coming into that charger. So if there's 10 and 10 people are going to show up when I'm supposed to get there, it will tell me. And if it can pick another charger and send me there instead, it will. So that's just really good info to have, because people say, well, what if you get to the supercharger and they're all full? The car knows that already, so it just won't take you to that charger. Do you get what I mean? It will bring you to one earlier to stop that happening, or if your charge will allow, it will bring you to one later. And we actually drove up north recently as a family, and it will just adjust. So if the chargers are going to be full when you get there, it will, you know, it will assign another charger for you, either before that point or after that point, which is really good. Another good thing that you can do, so when we went up north, we didn't have any charger capability, so we couldn't slow charge at a home, if that makes sense. So where we were staying, there was no availability for charging. So what you can do, you can go into the settings, and once you plan your journey, your car will say to you, you're going to arrive with 10%, no need to charge, sort of thing. But then what you can do is you can set on the computer what charge you actually want. So I wanted to arrive at the destination with 50% battery, because I knew that I wasn't going to have the capability to charge when I got there. So again, what the computer will do, or the car will do, it will say, you're on 90% now, you're going to get there at 20%, but obviously you want to be at 50%, so you're going to need to charge here. So it will plan all that in for you. Not only that, it tells you the amenities that are around. So it will say, you know, use that charging point, there's also a restaurant there, or there's also a shop there, or there's nothing around. So if you want a bite to eat and some water or toilet facilities, there aren't any around. Do you get what I mean? So It's a very, very, very clever system. What I'll do, this video has been sort of 5 minutes so far, I'll edit some little clips of what I'm talking about there. I'll edit those in, showing you what I'm talking about on the actual menu itself, or you know, on the screen. But it's a very, very, very clever system. So this whole range anxiety, I don't really believe people get with a Tesla. You know, I've never seen it fluctuate roguely either. So it's not like I'm driving along and it says I've got 100 miles left and all of a sudden I've got 20 miles left. It's never done that. You know, if the journey's 100 miles and I start the journey with 300 miles, I'm there roughly 200 miles to go. Do you get what I mean? So yeah, that can fluctuate depending on the speed that I'm driving, but it will fluctuate doing that in a petrol car anyway. You know, so I've not found any inconveniences yet with driving an electric car over a petrol car.